This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Friday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this February the 28th. Metro police are looking for answers after a man was killed inside of a gas station. We have the latest on their homicide investigation.
An amendment made in the Statehouse could derail big projects for Indigo. How the change could affect the plans for the blue and purple lines.
And Indiana businesses are struggling to keep respirators in stock because of the coronavirus outbreak. How one local company is dealing with the overwhelming demand. But first, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. It is Friday. We're looking ahead to the weekend, and Todd has good news, but first we got to get through today and this morning. Todd, it's pretty chilly out there.
Yeah, you know, today and through tomorrow morning's very cold. Your Saturday is going to start off in the teens, but then the warm-up will commence, and by the end of the weekend, you're going to be thinking spring. How about that? 22 degrees, though. That is the current temperature at the airport right now in Indianapolis, and just like we told you yesterday, with the thicker snowpack on the ground in northern locations, temperatures are running a lot colder. 14 in Peru, 17 right now in Lafayette, with no snow on the ground. In Bloomington, the temperature this morning as you walk out the door there in Monroe County is sitting at 27 degrees. So even last night we dealt with some snow showers. It's pretty quiet here this morning. Shouldn't be any issues on the roadways, at least weather-wise, as you head off to work this morning. When you come home from work, though, there will be the potential for a few snow showers moving through, and you see them here off to the northwest. I'm not really too concerned about accumulation. Yeah, there could be a dusting, maybe a little bit more in spots, but visibility will be the issue as some of these snow showers start to come in during the evening drive, and things will change very quickly as you cross the miles off with these snow squalls. We'll talk more about those in detail coming up in just a few minutes, but make sure you bundle up as you walk out the door with a high only right around 30 degrees. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a look at your drive times heading in from the south side on this Friday morning. A 12-minute commute from Greenwood Stones Crossing Road up to I-465. If you travel along northbound State Road 37, no delays. Across the county here on northbound I-65 from Southport Road to I-70 at the North Split, it is a 10-minute drive. Traffic here is moving along up to speed, so let's take a look to the northeast side of town. This is I-465 and I-69. No issues here. Of course, we'll continue to monitor your commute throughout the morning.
New overnight, one person is dead after a crash on the city's northeast side. It happened just after 1 this morning at East 30th and Enterprise Street. 2 cars were involved. One driver died. The other was injured and taken to the hospital. Police say alcohol is believed to be a factor in the crash.
Also overnight, a shooting on a north side gas station left 1 man dead. Metro police say that they were called out to this marathon at the corner of 30th and College Avenue just before 11 o'clock last night. The victim suffered from an apparent gunshot wound and was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have not released any other information at this time, but they do say homicide detectives are investigating. Anyone with any information on what happened here, please call Crime Stoppers.
Metro police are also looking for answers in a homicide that happened on the northwest side yesterday afternoon. Officers found the victim dead just before 4 o'clock on Eagles Watch Drive near 56th and I-465. That's just south of Eagle Creek Reservoir. Police say the victim appears to be an adult, but they're still working to find out more. Here at 503, 2 Indigo projects could be brought to a screeching halt thanks to an amendment introduced and approved by state lawmakers yesterday.
Well, that amendment would take away some funding from Indigo, which could jeopardize their planned blue and purple lines. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning from the Statehouse with more on what lawmakers are saying. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Meredith and Lauren. So this is the second time this week that the Statehouse has passed amendments that cause hurdles for projects that were already approved by the city of Indianapolis. An amendment to House Bill 1279 would create a penalty for a rule that lawmakers say is already on the books. That law requires 10% of the funding for a transit project like the Blue Line or Purple Line to come from a source other than taxes or fares. But Republicans at the Statehouse say that law is not being followed. The amendment creates fiscal penalties, such as the state withholding a percentage of the funds approved under the 2016 transit referendum. Meantime, Democrats criticize the amendment.
The legislation was pretty clear when it was done back in 2015, I believe it was, that they had to use 10% private money, and they simply did not do it. This is trying to say, no, we meant that, and let's do it.
We're going through a very trying time in the city of Indianapolis. Violent crime is up. People are getting killed. And we're over here trying to provide transit for people to go to work. And we got people who want to stop it.
A statement from a spokesperson for Mayor Joe Hogsett reads in part, quote, "It's clear that in order for Indianapolis to remain as central Indiana's economic engine, we must have reliable, accessible transit options that connect workers with opportunities for education and employment." Now, the chamber will likely vote on this bill sometime next week. And of course, we will continue to cover this and update you both on air and online. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. And as expected, those with Indigo are not pleased with that amendment. The board held their monthly meeting last night. They didn't publicly address this change. We did talk to one of the board members, Mark Fisher, who says it could derail other improvement plans like drainage and repaving projects. Fisher also says it's a knock to Marion County voters.
It's an attempt to overturn the will of the Marion County voters who overwhelmingly supported expanding transit service to increase access to jobs, education, and health care across our city.
You can learn more about the amendment and reaction from city officials by visiting our website, theindychannel.com. Here at 5:06 this morning, health officials are retracing steps of the latest patient to be diagnosed with the coronavirus in the United States. A woman in California tested positive for the disease and is believed to be the first to get it without traveling internationally or being in close contact with anyone who had it.
Those health officials now trying to figure out how exactly she was exposed. The latest case comes as Vice President Mike Pence is assembling his team to take on the coronavirus outbreak. He has chosen the Surgeon General, Jerome Adams, who used to be Indiana's health commissioner. The Treasury Secretary was also added to the task force, along with the director of the Economic Council. They held their first meeting yesterday.
In the days ahead, we're going to make sure that the full resources of the federal government continue to be brought to bear in confronting the coronavirus here at home.
The outbreak is leading to a shortage of some medical supplies here in Indiana. Stores like Kroger, CVS, and Walmart usually have shelves full of face masks, but now they're empty. And Hoosier companies that supply things like face masks and respirators can't keep up with demand. Haggard & Stocking says they have about 400 of the face masks on back order.
I was in a meeting last week where I had a customer that typically would buy a couple hundred a month. You know, they, for their corporation wide, they were going to give me an order right there on the spot for 1 million masks. I couldn't do it. Didn't have the access to them.
The president of the company says the focus right now is on filling orders for customers they have contracts with. You can find more coverage of the coronavirus, including how it spreads and how to protect yourself, and the latest on the outbreak in a special section on our website, theindychannel.com/coronavirus.
We are learning new information about the city's efforts to clean up jet fuel that seeped into the Indianapolis waterways. The fuel came from a tanker that crashed and exploded last week on the I-465 ramp to I-70 on the east side. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management tells RTV6 that contractors are working 24 hours a day to clean up the spill. IDEM says that it's overseeing the process along with the Marion County Health Department. The department says it could take a few weeks before the cleanup is complete.
Nearly 200 Hoosiers will be losing their jobs in Indianapolis starting next month. 19th Capital notified the state that it will permanently be closing its facility on the Far East Side. The notice did not give an exact date, but said layoffs are expected to happen around March 27th. A total of 199 workers are included in the layoffs. 19th Capital owns and manages Quality Company, a truck leasing and sales company. Their services include leasing trucks and trailers to truck operators. A spokesman for the company issued a statement to RTV6 that said in part the freight industry has deteriorated rapidly in the second half of 2019, and as a result, 19th Capital Group has reached the difficult decision to conduct an orderly runoff and eventual full wind down of our operations, end quote.
At 5:09, the Indiana Department of Education is taking steps to suspend the teacher license of 3 educators in Hendricks County. On Thursday, IDOE filed complaints against Tri-West High School Dean of Students Stacy Begley, Athletic Director Nathan Begley, and former Principal Adam Benner. The complaints accuse them of failing to report an alleged inappropriate relationship between a teacher and a student to the Department of Child Services or police. The state wants to suspend the Begleys' license for 2 years and Benner's license for 3 years. The Begleys still work at Tri-West. Benner resigned in June.
Hiring Hoosiers is connecting you to in-demand jobs. There is a big need for healthcare workers right now, including nurses. If you're an aspiring nurse, there's a new education option in central Indiana. Hondros College of Nursing plans to open a new campus in Indianapolis in the Pyramids on the north side. Classes are set to begin in April. Across the country, the nursing shortage will reach 200,000 by 2026, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics.
The in-state rivalry winning streak continues for Purdue basketball. The Boilermakers beat the Indiana Hoosiers for the 7th matchup in a row. Purdue started off hot through the beginning in the second half, leading by 16 points, but the Hoosiers did make a comeback, cutting the lead with just 5 with 1 minute in the game left to go. Purdue held on, scoring its last 6 free throws to seal the win, 57-49. They face the number 18 ranked Iowa on Tuesday. IU is going to travel to play Illinois on Sunday. Time now is 5:10. Want to check in with Todd Clausen in today's forecast. Todd, what can we expect for our Friday?
You know, it's a very cold day for us once again. Keep in mind our normal high this time of year at the end of February is 45 degrees. Today we'll be lucky in some locations even get above freezing. So this is a pretty cold shot of air that we've been dealing with the past few days, and you really have to warm up the car this morning. Probably grab that extra cup of coffee as well, as temperatures will be hovering just above 20 degrees with skies that'll be partly to mostly cloudy across the area. Yesterday evening we were dealing with those snow showers still. They have moved out, so you don't have to worry about that for your commute to work here this morning. However, there is a band of snow showers off to our west that will come through later on this afternoon. They're not going to really do a whole lot in the way of putting down accumulation. There could be a quick coating on the roadways, or maybe just a little bit more than that, up to a ½ an inch. Visibility, though, will be the issue as they come through later on today. 27 today in Kokomo, 31 in Greenwood, 35 is the high temperature in Bloomington. The timing of those snow showers bring them in here mid-afternoon into the evening commute, so the timing is key. We'll time it out for you using TrueCast hour by hour, coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. After major technical glitches and recanvassing, the final Iowa caucus results are in. Coming up, the candidate who barely came out on top.
And Congress is considering a measure to get rid of hidden online ticket fees. Still ahead, how the Bots Act is hoping to help consumers and why Ticketmaster says they might be okay with it. We'll be right back.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
The final results of the first Democratic caucuses in Iowa are finally in. It shows Pete Buttigieg with just a .04 margin over Bernie Sanders for state delegates. The February 3rd voting dealt with technical glitches that heavily delayed results. Sanders' campaign then requested a recanvass, leading to the extremely narrow count released late last night. The Associated Press has decided not to call a winner over concerns of accuracy.
Rappers Jay-Z and Yo Gotti have filed another lawsuit against the Mississippi Department of Corrections. It targets the state's Parchment Prison, where at least 9 inmates have died this year. The suit was filed on behalf of more than 150 inmates in the prison, calling the conditions in the facility, quote, barbaric. They report issues like food contaminations with rat feces, flooded cells, and the lack of medical care. Last month, the two rappers helped more inmates file different lawsuits against the prison. It attributed inmate deaths to years of systematic neglect and severe understaffing.
The price of an event ticket online may seem reasonable until you go to pay and you get hit with all those fees. Now, Congress is considering new regulations that would require those fees to be included in the ticket price. The measure, called the Bots Act, would address those fees, make all tickets transferable, and require the full number of tickets available to be disclosed for consumers. The National Consumers League is pushing for the bill, but companies like Ticketmaster are concerned that its clients, the artists, would be embarrassed about all of the side deals with brokers.
Artists want to create the impression with their fans that they are providing affordable tickets and that it's a show that's for everybody. When in fact, artists are business people just like anybody else. They want to make as much money on their shows as possible.
Ticketmaster did say they'd be on board, but only if they if all other companies have to do it too. Here at 5:16, ooh, I don't like what's behind you, Todd. I wish we were in the 40s today.
Yeah, right. That would be nice. 45, that's where we should be this time of year. But today we're only going to be climbing up into the 30s as it's going to be another cold day where we'll be over 10 degrees below normal as far as high temperatures go. And low temperatures, what we're dealing with here this morning, are below normal as well. So it's a little shot of cold air, and we'll have to deal with it here for the remainder of February. But as soon as we get to March, right on cue on Sunday, we are going to see these temperatures really start to moderate nicely. 22 degrees, that's the temperature in Indy right now. Winds out of the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Those winds have calmed down from where they were yesterday. And there's a pretty big temperature spread this morning, and it all has to deal with who has snow on the ground and who doesn't. Where there's less snow, it's warmer. 29 in Bedford right now, 27 in Bloomington. Thicker snowpack to the north. Colder temperatures, 14 right now in Peru, and it's 23 as you make your way over into the Greencastle area. Today, as we work our way throughout the morning hours, no real issues. It's just partly to mostly cloudy. It's cold with temperatures that will be in the 20s, only right around 29 degrees for your noontime temperature, and then we'll hover right around 30 degrees throughout the course of the afternoon. And you notice there's one icon here with some snow. There's going to be a brief window later on this afternoon into the evening hours where we'll have the opportunity to pick up some snow showers. It's quiet this morning, and the snow showers that we'll be watching are these that are across parts of Iowa and extreme western Illinois right now, and those will be diving in here pretty quickly throughout the afternoon hours. As we work our way throughout the afternoon hours, if you are going to be traveling, the biggest thing I need you to take from this forecast is that the potential for visibilities will be reduced on the roadways. We really haven't seen a whole lot in the way of snow squall action so far this winter, and snow squalls are just intense bursts of snow. So you say you're driving down Interstate 70, it's fine, and all of a sudden, boom, you run into the snow squall. Visibility could be reduced to almost absolutely nothing. It's probably not going to put down much in the way of any accumulation, but a lot of times, unfortunately, with these snow squalls, that's when we get to these pileups because you're going too fast, and then you hit the snow squall and you have no visibility, can't see the cars in front, and the timing again of those coming through are not going to be good towards the evening commute. So just keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling. Lows Saturday morning, look at this, 13 in Peru, 18 in Indy, 19 in Bloomington throughout the day. Tomorrow, though, we will have plenty of sunshine for your Saturday. Temperatures getting back up into the mid to upper 30s, and then I picked the tulips just to get us to think spring here from my background. Sunday, look at this, 58 degrees, a big jump forward right as we start the month of March, and then we'll keep the temperatures in the 50s for the first couple days of March. Unfortunately, with the warmth, once we get past Sunday, will come showers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at your commute on the east side, near east side at I-70 and Rural Street and Keystone Avenue. Traffic's moving along up to speed, so let's plan out your east side commute. Here's a look at our INDOT traffic maps, our Traffic Now maps here. This is from Post Road to I-65 at the North Split. You can expect a 10-minute drive that's traveling up to speed. Taking a trip across town, I-465 and I-74 on the west side. Traffic here is moving along up to speed.
A police chase in Houston ended with an arrest thanks to one driver who decided to lend a hand. Jose Cruz was driving his glass installation truck when he spotted the chase coming up behind him. All of the drivers were getting out of the way, but not Cruz. He decided the best thing he could do was use his truck to stop the vehicle. His truck did suffer some damage to the taillight after the vehicle hit him, but Cruz says his boss isn't worried about it. Wow.
Well, JCPenney says it's closing more stores. That retail chain announcing it's closing 6 more, but did not give out those locations. JCPenney has closed about 200 stores over the last 5 years because of slumping sales and profits. The company says it's meeting with analysts in April, and it will release more details on the latest closures after that. They currently have 850 stores. 5 are located in and around Indianapolis.
A host and investor on the popular show Shark Tank has lost nearly $400,000 due to a scam. Barbara Cochran says someone emailed her a fake invoice earlier this week. They used her assistant's email with one misspelled letter. Her bookkeeper didn't catch it either and wired $389,000 to the email address. By the time they realized the scam, it was too late and the scammer disappeared. Authorities are still investigating but don't think she'll ever get her money back. Corcoran later tweeted, "Lesson learned, be careful when you wire money. It can happen to anyone."
Crazy,
wow.
Yes. Well, for the first time in Indiana Jones's history, Steven Spielberg will not be directing the latest movie. He's directed every one of the movies in the franchise, which debuted back in 1981 with the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Ford versus Ferrari director James Mangold is taking over for Indiana Jones 5. Spielberg will still have a hand in it, though, as a producer. He says the move was his decision and that he wants a new generation of filmmakers to bring their vision to that story.
The story of a puppy and pigeon went viral, warming hearts across the world. After the break, how one organization is now reaching out to help the Chihuahua get a fresh start. We'll be right back.
Down a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
It is 5:25. Here's a live look at I-65 at the Hendricks County line to the northwest. You can see traffic's moving along just fine, still pretty quiet out that way. We'll continue to monitor those Friday morning commutes, though, and we'll keep you updated on any issues.
Exciting news for a viral puppy we told you about earlier this month. Lundy, a Chihuahua, cannot use his legs. This video went viral on social media showing him with his friend, a pigeon that can't fly. They were both rescued by an animal foundation near Rochester, New York. That video caught the attention of Walk-In Pets, which creates wheelchairs for animals. So they sent Lundy one of his own, hoping to give him a chance at a new beginning.
A cute little wheelchair.
The tiniest little wheelchair ever to exist. That is so cute. Very All right, cute. Now they need to get working on some wings for the pigeon.
I know.
All right, outside right now, it's cold once again this morning. It's quiet, though. There is no snow in the forecast here this morning. However, this afternoon, towards your evening commute, look for some snow squalls to move through. Visibility will be the biggest issue. They'll be isolated. It's not going to be something that's widespread, so if you encounter these snow squalls, slow down on the roadways, especially the interstates. The weekend's looking great. Sunshine on Saturday up to 39. 58, though, we jump to on Sunday with partly cloudy skies. It's a dry day, though. The rain arrives on Monday, but look at those high temperatures, near 60 degrees. Lows will be in the 40s, so just get through today and tomorrow morning, then warmer days are ahead.
A lot of talk about the coronavirus, the amount of supplies the city has on hand to deal with the public threat. That story at 6 a.m. when I join Lauren and Meredith for Good Morning, Indiana.
Tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC. This is Good Morning, Indiana, working for you.
A move introduced and approved by state lawmakers could bring 2 public transportation projects to a screeching halt.
Our Kelsey Anderson working for you this morning with the details on the changes that could impact you. And a new campaign aimed at eliminating the stigma around drug addiction is being unveiled here in the state of Indiana.
What health officials in Marion County want you to know about the campaign. But first, we need you to know about our Storm Team 6 forecast.
Yeah, that's right. Todd Clausen is standing by. Clear skies out here downtown this morning, Todd. So that is good news, but it's a chilly start.
Yeah, it's very cold, and that's the main takeaway here. What you need to grab before you go is the warm weather gear. You probably have it handy because it's been cold and snowy the past couple days. So you need the hat, you need the gloves, and the heavier jacket. I didn't check the sunglasses off. There'll be some times here, I think, throughout the day where we'll have some sunshine, but just like yesterday, if you do see it, it should be pretty short-lived, and then the clouds will kind of fill back in. We're at 17 right now in Lafayette. It's a little warmer in Bloomington at 27, but it's northern communities here where there's more snow on the ground that the temperatures are running a lot colder, and you can see exactly where we had about 3 to 4 inches of snow. Marion down to 10 degrees right now. 14 in Logansport, come just a little further south when there was only an inch or 2, and we're 21 right now over in the Anderson area. The skies are clear this morning, but there are some snow showers off to our west. They will arrive later on this afternoon with some quick bursts of snow. Could see some minor accumulation, but I think visibility will be the bigger issue as these snow squalls move in. As for temperatures, it's another cold day, unfortunately, with highs only right around 30 degrees. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a look right now at traffic toward northwest. This is I-65 near the Hendricks County line. You can see traffic is moving along just fine, no delays. So let's plan out your commute. Taking a look over here in Hamilton County, heading southbound on Interstate 69 from State Road 37, Fishers and Noblesville, down to I-465 on the northeast side. It's a quick 5-minute commute, so that won't cause any troubles this morning. So let's take a look right now at traffic over on the west side. I-465 and I-74. You can see lots of headlights out that way. Traffic's picking up and traveling up to speed.
So they won't negotiate with us, but they don't want to follow the law, and that's not fair.
Are you voting against public transit in Indianapolis? Are you going to put Indianapolis back into the last century?
2 Indigo projects could be brought to a screeching halt thanks to an amendment introduced and approved by state lawmakers yesterday.
The amendment would take away some funding from Indigo, which could jeopardize their planned blue and purple lines. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning from the Statehouse with more on what lawmakers are saying. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So this is the second time this week here at the Statehouse, lawmakers have passed an amendment that's going to cause hurdles for projects that have already been approved by the city of Indianapolis. An amendment to House Bill 1279 would create a penalty for a rule that lawmakers say is already on the books. That law requires 10% of the funding for a transit project like the Blue Line or Purple Line to come from a source other than taxes or fares. But Republicans at the Statehouse say that law is not being followed. The amendment creates fiscal penalties such as the state withholding a percentage of the funds approved under that 2016 transit referendum.
Legislation in 2015 was specifically for Indianapolis and said specifically for this mass transit project, 10% of the funds had to be raised privately, and that wasn't done. So yeah, of course it's very specific because it's dealing specifically with that project.
You know, it's very frustrating for people who are in the super minority to have their issues heard, especially from those in the super majority who think that their opinion is the only one that matters.
A statement from a spokesperson for Mayor Joe Hogsett reads in part, quote, "It's clear that in order for Indianapolis to remain central Indiana's economic engine, we must have reliable, accessible transit options that connect workers with opportunities for education and employment." Now, the chamber will likely vote on this sometime next week. And of course, we'll keep you updated both on air and online as soon as we know more information. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thanks. Now to the latest on the coronavirus. The State Health Department provided an update on how well Indiana is prepared to respond to a possible outbreak. Dr. Christina Box said that health officials across the state are ready to respond to any possible COVID-19 outbreak or any other pandemic. The health department says it's working with state, local, and federal partners to refine its strategies as it continues to monitor the situation across the country and globe. That's why Dr. Box is encouraging education, not panic.
People ask me, is this time to panic? No, it's the time to plan. It's the time to make sure that, number one, that you educate yourself and you keep yourself informed. And I'm not talking about looking at social media and blogs that people put out there. I'm talking about going to ISDH's website or the CDC's website and keeping up with that accurate information that we want you to have.
Coronavirus symptoms include fever, cough, and shortness of breath. If you have a recent history of travel to China or contact with someone suspected of having the illness, you can call 317-233-7125 for guidance.
Working for you, we wanted to find out how universities across the state are preparing for potential cases of the coronavirus. Officials in Bloomington say they've been meeting daily for more than a month, discussing and practicing plans in the event that a student or faculty member is diagnosed with the virus. The plan lays out the immediate steps each campus needs to take. It includes determining the proper locations to isolate potential patients and find out how quickly they can respond. Brad Cyphers, the director for emergency management at IU, says they are not only working with state and local health partners, but also other universities.
We have peers across the country, already 2 institutions who have confirmed cases on their campuses. We've been in touch with them directly on how they responded to this new virus, and they've been successful. So we have some peers that we rely on, and then our plan lines out what we would do to isolate individuals if they are confirmed to have a case.
Indiana University has 4 people dedicated to constantly gathering the latest information on the outbreak so they can continue to improve their plans and stay prepared. Officials say they feel the risk of coronavirus cases is still low at this point.
The coronavirus outbreak is also causing panic on Wall Street. This morning, Wall Street futures are indicating another big sell-off in stores for the markets. This after the Dow dropped more than 1,000 points on Thursday. Futures for the Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are all down rebound this morning. On Thursday, 3 indices entered what was called a correction territory, meaning that they're down 10% from their recent highs. While that's a big drop and it's scary, corrections are fairly regular occurrences. Experts say historically, markets have rebounded from previous outbreaks. They also do not recommend making any drastic moves to sell off stocks. You can find extensive coverage of the coronavirus, including how it spreads and how to protect yourself, and the latest on the outbreak. It's all in a special section of our website, theindychannel.com/coronavirus.
Here at 5:37 and new overnight, one person is dead after a crash on the city's northeast side. It happened just after 1 this morning at East 30th and Enterprise Street. We're told 2 cars were involved. One driver died and the other was taken to the hospital. Right now, their condition is not known. Police say alcohol is believed to be a factor in the crash.
Also, overnight, Metro Police investigating a deadly shooting on the north side. This happened at a marathon at the corner of 30th and College Avenue just before 11 last night. The officer said that the man was pronounced dead at the scene. Police have not released any more information at this time, but they say homicide detectives are investigating. Anyone with any information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. It is 5:38. A new campaign from the Marion County Health Department is hoping to reduce the stigma that surrounds drug addiction. It's called What Friends Are For. It encourages sufferers to talk about their addiction struggles with the people they trust the most. Health officials say this makes people more likely to overcome their addiction. The other part of the campaign will emphasize the legality of carrying naloxone. That drug is used to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. Naloxone is available at several pharmacies and can be obtained by anyone. You can also get it from the health department by attending a free training.
We're a little more than a year away from the 2021 NBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis, but some organizations are already starting to see the benefits. Yesterday, the All-Star Host Committee announced a $1 million initiative granting money to 21 projects across the state. Those projects will impact 18 Indiana counties. Some of the groups that will receive grants are the Boys and Girls Club, the Hawthorne Community Center, and Camp Jameson. Another grant was awarded to the L&A Park Foundation. The money will go toward building a walking path surrounding the ball fields at Abby and Levy Memorial Park in Delphi. Here at 5:39, let's take a look at our bus stop forecast.
Yeah, definitely need to bundle up as the kids head off to school for the last school day of this week. And as you walk out the door to head to work, everybody's walking out. The temperatures on average right around 20 degrees. Those of you to the north are a little bit below that number, to the south a little bit above, but we're right around 20 degrees here in Indianapolis as the kids come home. 30 degrees, but there will be some snow showers across parts of the area. They should be pretty isolated, but those of you who do see the snow showers, they will be fairly intense, reducing visibility on the roadways very, very quickly. You see the clear skies right now. Snow showers are still currently well off to our west, but they'll dive in here later on this afternoon. So it's cold, it's snowy, but you ready for this? How about this? 58 degrees on Sunday. We'll talk more about the warm-up that's heading our way coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Democratic presidential hopefuls are making their final push ahead of Saturday's South Carolina primaries. Coming up, a look at who's leading the state.
And if you think you may go overboard when it comes to spending on your pet, you're not alone. Coming up, just how much Americans spent on their furry friends last year. It's 5:40. We'll be right back.
Nose in need deserves Puffs indeed.
New this morning, officials in Los Angeles are investigating after graphic pictures of the helicopter crash that Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others were leaked. Right now, it's unclear how the photos were shared and with how many people. The department has had issues with leaking information related to celebrities in the past. An investigation was opened after documents were leaked following Mel Gibson's drunk driving arrest in 2006. And in 2009, an officer was fired for leaking a photo of Rihanna after Chris Brown assaulted her.
Officials in Los Angeles are investigating after graphic pictures. Whether we just had this story, we're going to skip to our next one about Lori Loughlin and her husband Massimo Giannulli and their trial. It's going to go on in October. They're facing federal charges for allegedly taking part in a massive college admissions scandal. Attorneys for the couple had wanted a delay, accusing the prosecutors of misconduct in this case. They pointed to a newly released iPhone notes from a convicted mastermind of the scandal. Rick Singer, who became a cooperating witness for the government. Investigators say that Laughlin and her husband paid the singer to create a fake athletic profile for their daughters to get them into the University of Southern California. That couple has pleaded not guilty.
Turning now to the presidential race, Democrats are preparing for the last presidential primary before Super Tuesday. Tomorrow, South Carolina voters will head to the polls. The outcome will likely be a major deciding factor in the future of some candidates' campaigns. Former Vice President Joe Biden calls the state his, quote, firewall. And right now, he's ahead of frontrunner Senator Bernie Sanders in the polls there. For other Democratic hopefuls, South Carolina could be the end of the line. Meanwhile, President Trump is expected to get all the GOP delegates from South Carolina. Republicans canceled their primary in the state.
This weekend, several of the Democratic presidential candidates are expected to join thousands of people gathering for the 55th annual Selma Bridge Crossing Jubilee. The event commemorates the battles between the civil rights protesters and Alabama state troopers on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. The clashes, which started on March 7th, 1965, are known as Bloody Sunday. They contributed to the passing of the Voting Rights Act. This year's events include a presidential candidates forum for the first time ever. It will be held on Sunday after the bridge crossing reenactment and backward march.
Hillary Clinton is joining the podcast game. The former First Lady, Secretary of State, and 2016 Democratic nominee is expected to go on air in late spring. The program will reportedly feature Clinton holding conversations with world leaders, newsmakers, and celebrities. Clinton says she was inspired by previous recording experiences with comedian and talk show host Conan O'Brien. The yet-to-be-named project will be co-produced by iHeartMedia.
Scottish lawmakers have moved one step closer to making all female hygiene products free. The Period Products Free Provision Scotland bill passed through the first stage in Parliament earlier this week. It would require the government to provide free universal access to tampons, pads, and other menstrual items. Scotland already makes those items freely available in schools, colleges, and universities. The move follows a global trend of ending period poverty. England passed a similar measure last month, making period products free in public schools, colleges, and universities. Here in Indiana, Purdue University announced it would start offering feminine hygiene products for free in all campus bathrooms.
It may be great for crime fighting, but that doesn't mean it's ready to hit the road. Police in Russia seized this Batmobile replica in Moscow last weekend. They say the car was built in the U.S., then customized in Russia. But unfortunately for the driver, it's not street legal. He now faces multiple fines and charges for violating traffic laws. The Batmobile is based on the one featured in the 2016 movie Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, Todd, if the temps behind you were going to carry in through the weekend, I was going to give you a fine for terrible weather. But you're in luck because those temps improve greatly, especially once we hit Sunday.
Yeah, you know, tomorrow morning it's going to be cold. We're probably in the same ballpark that we are this morning in the teens and 20s, but it's really Sunday that the temperatures start to moderate. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a minute. 14 in Peru right now, 17 in Tipton. As you work your way south, it does get a little bit warmer. That's due to less snow on the ground. 29 in Bedford, and we're sitting at 22 degrees right now in Indianapolis. So as we work our way throughout the day, it's very similar to yesterday in the sense that we'll have some sunshine initially, and then the clouds will kind of fill back in as the day goes on. So the best bet for some sunshine will be through the morning hours. Then throughout the afternoon hours, the clouds will thicken up, and then we'll deal with some snow showers coming in here during the afternoon and evening hours. And some of these snow showers could be pretty potent in the sense that they could reduce visibilities pretty quickly on the roadways, and that's something to keep in mind for your evening drive. Here are the clear skies right now. Back off to our west, here are the snow showers that'll be coming in later on today. So as we walk you through the day, most of the day is pretty quiet. It's just cold throughout the morning hours. Even into the afternoon hours, the clouds will come in. Now, once we get to 3 o'clock and into 4, 5, 6 o'clock, here come these snow showers. And you see, not everybody is going to see them. So some of you don't see a flake of snow throughout the entire day. But where some of these snow showers do come in, they'll be intense, they'll be reducing visibility, and they'll put down maybe a quick coating on the roadways. And I'm not really so concerned about the coating on the roadways. It's especially on these interstates where you are at higher rates of speed, that as you encounter some of these snow showers, the visibility could go down almost next to nothing. and that could lead to some issues on the road. So just be careful. If you see some of these snow showers this afternoon, make sure you slow down. It's just quick hitting. By the time we get to 7 o'clock, it's done. They're through. And then the rest of this evening is going to be very quiet across the area. So your evening planner is like this. Temperatures in the 20s, clear skies. As the evening wears on, you'll need to bundle up. And then your Saturday morning gets off to a very, very cold start. Teens for almost everybody tomorrow morning. A couple 20s down to the south, but throughout the day tomorrow, plenty of sunshine, 39 degrees, a great day. And then look at this. That's what Meredith was talking about. 58 degrees on Sunday. Clouds will kind of increase as the day goes on, but at this point, it looks dry until very late in the day. But once we get to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we'll be dealing with scattered showers, but it's all rainfall with lows in the 30s and 40s and highs in the 50s. Lauren?
Todd, thanks. Here's a look at traffic right now as you're heading out the door on this Friday. Traveling southbound on Interstate 65 from State Road 267 all the way into the downtown area at the North Split. It's a 21-minute drive, so that is normal and traveling up to speed this morning. So let's take a look there at the North Split in the downtown area. Easy traffic here is traveling smoothly. We'll continue to keep an eye out for any crashes or delays and keep you updated this morning.
If you ever get that nagging feeling you may be spending too much money on your pet, you're not alone. According to the American Pets Products Association, pet owners spent more than $95 billion on their furry friends last year. Most of that went to food and treats. The next largest category was vet care and health-related products. Pet owners also spent more than $10 billion on services like boarding, grooming, and training. Experts say one reason we're spending so much more is because of advances in the pet industry.
Cheesecake lovers rejoice. The Cheesecake Factory is handing out free slices in March. All you have to do is place an order of $15 or more through DoorDash and use the code LUNCHSLICE. The offer is good on weekdays through March 25th. DoorDash is also offering free delivery on Cheesecake Factory orders during the same period. You can still get the deal if you pick up your food just as long as you place the order through DoorDash.
All pet owners think their pets are the cutest. Now some will have the picture to prove it. Coming up, how these portraits are helping animals in need. We'll be right back.
Promotion for just $259 a month.
Fine art is often an investment, but there are some affordable options out there. For example, the Wisconsin Humane Society will get you a custom drawing of your pet for just $15. But there's a catch. These drawings may not capture the true beauty of your pet. Volunteers and staff who create the portraits are a far cry from Picasso, but it's all for a good cause. Donations go toward helping the 40,000 animals the shelter cares for every year. Since the fundraiser started, the group has raised more than $12,000.
Those are pretty funny.
Those aren't too terrible. They just look like they're maybe done by a third grader.
Yeah, the dog's like, that picture makes me look a little fatter than I actually am.
Fluffy, we'll say fluffy.
Yeah, fluffy.
You need a little extra fluff on you today, this morning, especially to get through this cold weather, Todd.
Yeah, you know, you just got to bundle up here this morning. It's nothing that we haven't been used to the past few days as we've been running well below normal. But still, here we are talking about March arriving this weekend, and temperatures are in the 20s right now. And for some of you to the north, we're in the teens, 20 on the nose in Muncie, 26 in Bloomington, 22 in Indianapolis. At least radar is quiet this morning. That'll change, though, as we progress into the afternoon hours, as these snow showers that are across parts of Illinois should hold together and make their way here into central Indiana as we work our way into the afternoon and evening hours. They'll be quick hitting and then they'll be on their way, but the biggest issue will be reduced visibility on the roadways, and the timing is not good as they'll come in right towards the evening commute. As far as temperatures today, they don't really do a whole lot. We'll level off right around 30 degrees, so it's cold from start to finish. And again, if you're on the roadways later this evening, especially the highways where you're at high rates of speed, watch out for these snow showers as they move through.
Preparing to handle the coronavirus. The amount of supplies the city has on hand to handle the public health threat. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story next on RTV6.